Just think, what would Tilda Swinton do? But I never really knew what the answer to the question is. In elementary school, I had a teacher who was also an actor, so he did a lot of theater with us. And I was always the main role, and I loved acting, and so I got really into that. But the lucky thing was that one of my best friends in school, her dad gave her a video camera, so we were constantly thinking up ideas. We had this washing machine, really loud and shaking, so I put a pudding on it and filmed that.
Of course you did.
I'm telling you, this is like very Lynchian thing to do.
I always loved this phrase that if she can see it, she can be it. If you can see something, you can be something, but also you understand something.
I've been taking women a lot of time. There are a lot of talented women out there telling stories.
This is how we perceive life. We have all those external pressures that shape our understanding and our capabilities and what we think we can do.
I love when people are supportive with each other in general.
Yes.
And I hope to be that person for other people too.
Hey, Suzie.
Hi.
Thank you so much for being here. Suzie
Léger,
is that the right way to pronounce it here?
Léger.
Léger. Oh, Léger. That's because you're Canadian, right? Is that where it comes from? You're Canadian Austrian actress, director, and writer.
I'm Austrian. I would say I'm Austrian Canadian because I actually grew up in Austria.
So we're gonna change it.
If you like, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so you're Austrian.
I'm more
Canadian.
Austrian.
You're more Austrian. Okay, very good. So the first thing I want to ask you this morning, thank you. I know you had your dinner yesterday, so there was a long night for you. I was there. I didn't stay as long, obviously, as you did. But it was really something special, I have to say.
Oh, I'm happy you liked it. It was really fun.
It was really something special. And the first question I have for you this morning is, what would Tilda Swinton do?
Today?
Any day.
It's a very nice open question, you guys. You don't know why I'm asking it, but you will find out soon.
I mean, I've been asked that a lot when I had the band, but I never really knew what the answer to the question is. I think it's more the question you need to ask yourself rather than the answer.
I
think the answer comes in the thinking about it. That calms you down, even though you don't really necessarily have an answer to it, but you kind of have a feeling to it. Do you get what I mean?
No, I totally do. The thing is, all three of us love Tilda Swinton. So let's just start with that. Like, adore her. And when we were talking to you earlier and you came up with his name for the band because you were always thinking about it, I have to say this is something that, like, this, when we were like thinking about this podcast and like preparing for it and stuff, you know, your interview, it was the first thing that Valeria's like, I was like, okay, what would be a good first question? And Valeria's like, what would Tilda Swinton do? And I was like, oh my God, that is the question. And I think it's right. Like, if you love her as much as we do and admire that woman, and she's a fantastic artist, as she calls herself, it does calm you somehow down. At the same time, your brain does start, I have the feeling, functioning in a different way.
Yeah, right?
It enters those weird, like, kind of things of the universe. I wanted to name my dog after her. I don't know if that's the compliment to her or something, but I don't know. I mean, I love her.
Tilda, come here.
It's
Come
really
here.
a nice name.
Tilda, sit. Tilda Swinton, sit. I don't think that's a good thing.
Tell her that. So.
Yeah, so because it was really in acting school when my friends and colleagues were like totally were nervous about things, like when we had a class where we were pretending to have an audition or like just scene study and we were presenting something. Yeah, I always said that. Just think, what would Tilda Swinton do? And then we were like, yeah.
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 Nice.
So,
Okay, from that icebreaker, I want to ask you, when and if you look back at all, to your early years, do you think that you know exactly, can you pinpoint the moment where it first kind of hit you that, creative field was something that was calling your name and, that was something that kind of inspired you and you wanted to explore it? Or was it something more like not one particular moment, but, like a period that you experienced? We always ask that because I think it's very interesting.
yeah. Well, okay, I always find it a bit cheesy when people say, yeah, I knew when I was a kid already that I wanted to be an actress and stuff. But in a way, I do understand them too, because I was constantly drawing from kindergarten on. And I was drawing like not just flowers and stuff. I was drawing really crazy shit. My mom was actually a bit scared of it. Yeah, like I was drawing a woman with a child in her belly, and then weird stuff that was a bit scary even next to it. And sometimes she thought like maybe she is like something she experienced when she was in the belly, I don't know, and I'm like now doing some trauma therapy as a kid with myself by drawing the stuff out, I don't know. And even when I still have the drawings, and I think they're really, really cool. It's crazy, but weird, really weird. And so I was constantly just drawing. And my mom told me that so there in our neighborhood, there is every autumn like a day where they have like the whole street is closed and they have like carousels and like shops are selling stuff and so on. It's really nice for kids especially. And I just went to the place where the kids could draw and I just didn't stop. And my mom once told me the story. Then a woman came to her because my mom was standing next to it and she was like, what's going on with this kid? She seems so obsessed with drawing. Yeah.
What's wrong with that?
That's called being an artist.
Because it was way more like so hyper focused on it than maybe the other kids. Yeah, so that was kind of like, I think, where I kind of always had the feeling I needed to do something that is beyond go exploring the imagination or like or the reality in a different way. And I think with art,
may I ask you to this end, because you said like your mother or like something said, oh, that's weird. Did you feel that it was weird what you were drawing? Did it feel natural to you? Because I recently watched the documentary on David Lynch, and to him, like, his mind is out of this world. He passed away, but still his works lives. Like, he was inspired by a human ear, for God's sake, but it didn't feel weird to him. It was something that felt calling. I really liked it.
David Lynch.
Girl, do you realize what we were comparing you to Tilda Swinton? And I mean,
I am so honored. Thank you. You made my day.
But did it feel weird to you, or it felt like something that you were exploring and it was in your framework completely normal, completely fine?
No, for me it was really normal, but I just realized that at some point, really, like early on, other kids came to me and were kind of giving me some comments about how I think it was meant to be like they liked that I can draw so well, but they were not nice. Like in a way a bit envious. Yeah. I remember that. I remember that moment. But I was like, meh. I don't care.
I'm gonna draw.
I love it. And then like it went on. I had a really, that was really important for me in elementary school. I had a teacher who was, who was also an actor. And I was in this elementary school that was until the afternoon. So we didn't leave at lunch, after lunch, which you usually do, I think, and most of the elementary schools here in Austria. And so he did a lot of theater with us. A lot of theater, and I was always the main role, and I loved acting, and so I got really into that also. So that's when I shifted from drawing into performing.
Nice.
And it was around what age?
Like 6, 7.
Okay, very early. Good.
Yeah. No, he was. I think it was really important that certain people in your life, when you look back, they were really important to you. And of course, in the moment, sometimes you do feel it, and then you really appreciate this person. But often you just look back and see, it's something what they said, what they did, how they treated you, how they gave you respect for something that you didn't see back then, and later learned that this is something you actually do have. So that's why I love when people are supportive with each other in general.
Yes.
And I hope to be that person for other people too. And especially as I'm getting older, I really want to be that for younger people. Because I have certain people in my life and had that really supported me in ways when I was not feeling it, or when I didn't see it, or when I saw it, but I was just like thinking, oh my God, I'm never gonna be able to achieve anything that I'm dreaming of. And so, yeah, I think that's really important.
Well, you have definitely achieved a lot. You've done so much beautiful work. And
Thank you.
I want to take you now, well, not back, because this is going forward then, because we're talking about like 6, 7. So this is when, how old were you when you went to Brazil?
15.
15, okay. Girl, you were so young when you started all of this.
Yeah, there
I'm
is another woman that
impressed.
like actually really supported me.
And that's what I
It's
wanted to
interesting.
ask you too. Is like, how did Brazil, like, how did it shape your relationship with cinema and political storytelling? And I mean, you're 15, girl. You're an old soul, I would call it. That's what people told me. They were like, you're an old soul. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, that someone told me that too.
Someone told me that's not a compliment, though.
I'm going to take it as a compliment.
When that person told me that, I was like thinking, what do you mean? But that was like quite a long time ago. What do you mean by that? An old soul.
And then you're talking like an old, sorry, but that's really like, what do you mean? I'm 6 or 7, and I know exactly how to draw like a champion. And when I'm 15, I'm having these political views. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so Brazil was really, it was really funny because I ended up in Brazil because I wanted to do a school exchange for a year because my sister did that. My sister is older. And my sister went to Mexico. And at some point I realized, okay, in Austria, and also my background, I don't want to need to go to Australia or America. Most of the kids did the program, wanted to go to one of those countries. And then I thought like, no, I want to go to South America, but I don't want to do the same that my sister does. So I want to learn a different language. Yeah. And then I thought like, yes, Brazil. And I did know only the cliches of Brazil, right? So carnival, football, soccer, so like all of these things.
Good choice.
Sun, sea, whatever. And so I ended up choosing Brazil, and I thought like, cool, I'm gonna learn Portuguese then. And and already at that time I was in Vienna, not just acting, but I was writing my own things and thinking of ideas I had in my mind that I wanted to film. And I was in there is this Medienzentrum in Austria, in Vienna, where they support teenagers if they want to create films. And back then we didn't have phones, so it was way harder. So they gave you the equipment, they taught you how to edit your films and so on. And so I did that already. And then when I left to Brazil, so I was already really into how to make films and loved watching films. And then in Brazil, I had another really important person in my life. My host mom became a really good friend. She was an architect. She was an amazing artist as well. And she was such a beautiful soul. I say was because she died, unfortunately, way too young. And so she introduced me to the music and to films, Brazilian ones. She was like, we're going to go to the cinema. You have to learn Portuguese. I'm going to teach you the best, who are the best singers, Brazilian singers that I love. And she told me what the lyrics meant and so on. And so I really picked up Portuguese quite quickly because of that also. And also because I think like Portuguese or Brazilian songs, I don't know so much about Portuguese songs, but like I think the poetry of it is such a different thing than I know of English songs or German speaking songs. Like really they touch me so much, and I'm like, wow, what you can do with language. It's so I started watching a lot of films there, and I thought it was really interesting how the culture was there that I thought was different than ours here in Austria, and how they were watching films, how they were how the perception was, and so I started to research. When I came back from Brazil, I was going slowly into my graduation, high school graduation, and then here you can do this thesis. You have an option if you want to write a thesis in one subject. And so I decided in art, and I decided to do it about a Brazilian film movement of the 60s. It's called the Cinema Novo, which was very, very political, because back then you had the dictatorship, and they really were trying, how can they create films with almost no budget, but with a political message that they can get to the audience to stand up against the regime in a way, but how can they narrate it so that the films go through censorship? And it was quite at the same time with Nouvelle Vague. They were very influenced of the Nouvelle Vague as well, and Collaborator, one of the leaders, actually had them to go into exile. Because it was very controversial, but I really loved what they did with almost nothing, and I think that's something I always think is just, how do you say, it's one of the biggest ways to do art. We can have a lot of budget, which is great. But if you can actually do the same with no budget, I think that means a lot already, what you can do. I don't want to say that like no budget films are the best. I don't want to say that at all. But I think, to put it in a way that you can also do it without it.
You know, what you're saying is really interesting, because I was working with this Chinese director, Lok Wukwan, and she has this talent too, that she was able, like, with very low budget, to make the films look like Hollywood blockbusters or something. And because of that, the big ones in China wanted to have her. You know what I mean? They want to work with her, because like, wow, if you can do that on that low budget, let's give her more. Let's see what she does with it. And I do think that a lot of filmmakers have that have then made it. It's like they were able, as you're saying, it's really, high art. I mean, that is being able to do things like that and making it look and also feel and also have a message. That's amazing. So so that means, you guys, if you're out there and you have I don't know how many millions, and you're like, I don't know what to do with it, like, give it to Suzie. She's amazing. She can do it.
Yeah, exactly.
I wanted to ask you about something else, but though I didn't realize that you studied behind the camera so early. Was it like you said 16 it was? Or yeah?
No, it was before that even.
Even before that.
So actually the lucky thing was that one of my best friends in high school, Her dad gave her a video camera, literally a video camera. You had this cassette in the camera, and then you put it into the VHS.
Yeah, I remember those.
I love that. So we were constantly thinking up ideas, what to do, stories, and then I ended up in the Medienzentrum, which is like next to school. You go there and learn that, and then the Medienzentrum also has a really nice film festival for teenagers and kids. So then we could show our films there, and actually really have professional filmmakers coming there, judging, you know. So it's a great institution, and it's still there, and I think it's really important. Still, professional filmmakers go there, help teach the kids or teenagers how filmmaking works.
Wow, that's so cool. And what were the ideas? What was about your films, your first ones?
Okay, this is actually a really good one. So I always had these ideas in my mind that I wanted to film, and I thought they might be funny and interesting to watch. So one was, and it's really simple. So my mother at home, we had this washing machine who was like really loud and shaking. So I put a pudding on it and filmed that.
Of course you did.
I'm telling you, this is like very Lynchian thing to do.
Yes, and it's hilarious because it has different rhythms. So it starts like this, and then it goes, and you have the pudding with it, the flan with it.
And you're just saying it's hilarious. Oh my God, this is amazing. Yeah, of course.
And then, for example, the other thing was like I invited all my friends, and I filmed all of their asses dancing, yeah. And then to the Doors, the music. Oh, show me the way to the next whiskey bar. And you have the different people, different asses dancing. And I was the only one, me and my sister, we were the only one who ended up filming our naked asses. And we wrote on our asses on Arsch ist in, so butt is in trend, trendy, or is in. So, and then you have also dancing. Yes.
Okay, I was
that's the other idea.
Gonna ask for the link, but now I'm like, nah, maybe not.
But well, no, it's not. It's not like weird or something because all of the others have like something on, and it's not like sexual at all. It's just so funny how people differently
move their bodies.
I love it. Okay, then please, can we have that? Like, can we put that in the show notes?
I showed it last year at the Crossing Europe. I was invited at the Crossing Europe for to have also a talk, and we showed it there. And then the other one was that I filmed had an idea I wanted to film that my sister. So my sister ended up being a lot of as the performer also when I was directing. That she was we wanted to do the perspective of someone who is eating cornflakes, and she's eating and eating. We were in this perspectives. She's eating and eating and eating and eating and eating and eating. And at some point it goes, vroom, and she falls into the bowl. And then we go with the camera around her, and you see that she died from eating. So basically things like that. But it was interesting because it was also about learning what are the camera views, how can you make the perspectives differently, like, or for example I had a friend who was lying on a table and she did like this with her arms, and then we turned the camera around so it looked like she was flying, right, from the ceiling. Things like that, where it's simple ideas, and they're like, then of course we put some crazy music to it and stuff, and that made it maybe more exciting. But it was also really important to just experiment with framing, with what you can do, and it's a bit Lynchian, yeah, it's true. Now
that sounds so exciting. I mean, I love it. I love it. Because a lot of the times you hear that, you know, it's like you have. I'm pretty sure you didn't have any sort of. You know, you didn't make any sort of drawings for that, or you didn't pre-plan, you just experimented right on the spot, and that's the best.
Yeah. So cool.
Yeah.
So nice.
Yeah. I love that too.
And then, okay, so I'm gonna skip to the next, which is I mean, your life is so fascinating. We could I think talk about every single year. I have a feeling we go we start with 6, and then 7, and then 8, and then 9, and what did you do there? And then 15. But you then ended up in New York. Yeah. So we're going fast forward. And I want to ask you like a broader question about it, because there's so much to just pick and choose and stuff from New York. We have to talk about it anyways and just dive in there. What did New York give you that Vienna didn't, like couldn't? And then, well, let's start with that. What did New York give you that Vienna couldn't?
There are two things to it. In the beginning, it gave me freedom. Not in a way of like being away from my family or stuff like that. Not at all. My family was always really cool. I grew up with my mom and my sister. We were these three women, girls growing into women, yeah. And my mom was, for that, to be honest, very open and liberal, even though it was really hard for her as a single mom. But so it was not that I needed to get away from my family or something. But I actually ended up... even though I was really also into performing, I ended up in art university when I was 18 after high school at the Angewandte, and I studied transmedia arts. So we learned filmmaking, sound, animation, even stuff like that. Really cool. With the teacher was Brigitte Kovans, and I really liked it. It was really crazy and cool, and you have so many other people, like-minded people. But at the end of when I graduated, I realized I wanted to do acting. I was always performing. I was always either doing videos or performance art. And when I ended the university, I had it was going quite well for me. I got like this Talente-Stipendium, which is a really big prize here in Austria. And then I had exhibitions. But I realized I really want to do acting. I want to learn the craft of acting, yeah. And for some reason, I mean, it's been now a long time ago, and I think a lot of things have changed here in Austria, but people were a bit like, huh? Why? Why are you now not wanting to do art anymore? Why do you want to change? It's going so well for you. And it's now when I now tell the story, okay, I think like, why was that? Why did it impact me so much? But it actually was really hard for me when so many people come to you and ask you those things and question your decision. Yeah,
it's hard.
And so I ended up first in an acting school in Austria, but then I had the privilege, I really have to say, because of that, my art background and the prizes that I won, because I got this talent stipend, then I got the Staatsstipendium, and I have relatives in the US because of my Jewish background. I had the possibility to stay, to live somewhere and don't spend that much money, only have a few side gigs, yeah, to survive. And then I also got, for the Stella Adler Studio of Acting, where I studied acting, ended up studying acting, I got this scholarship where I worked also a few hours a week and there for the school, and so the tuition was way less. And so for me, going there was somehow really important to say, yes, I want to do acting, and I want to also see myself as an actress, and not just performance artist or something. I don't want to, justice is, I mean that not in a negative way at all, but like, but I really want to know the craft, and being away from all these voices here that tell me, why are you doing this now, was really important. Yeah. So that was what New York gave me first, really this, hey, I'm here, I'm new, I want to do this thing now, and I'm not going to have any voices here telling me things, yeah, that I should continue the art path because I'm doing so well with it, and that's a pity if I stop doing it and stuff. But I wasn't happy in having exhibitions in a museum. I have to say, I love going to museums and galleries, but I'm just like, I didn't feel the space anymore. I wanted to have immediate impact with an audience, or with, and especially working with groups more, working with theater groups, working on a set with other people, yeah? This, like, just now, my experience with Toxic Dreams, with the play that I was in, I mean, it's... I love it. Yeah, I love being with an ensemble, watching other people. Also, I don't mind having a smaller role and just watching people how they work. Yeah, but it's just such a different experience than being. I mean, you can do it with art, of course, too. But I saw myself at that point. If I continued that way, I would be in my studio by myself, have exhibitions where I meet other people, but that's it. And I thought I don't want to be by myself. I don't want it. And so that so that's why I say New York gave me freedom, or freed me from certain voices. That was important. And then later it gave me, or soon, New York has a vitality that Vienna just doesn't have. Yeah. And that's why you stay there when you stay. Yeah, you cannot describe. It's somehow something even in the air. Yeah, it's simple things. You go on your bike down to the city, along the river, and people pass by you, and they have their music on loud. They sing with it. They are and no one gives a shit, and everybody is expressing themselves. And in Vienna, it's when you feel, today I'm courageous, I'm gonna put on my leopard jacket or something, fake leopard jacket. You feel already a bit out of the out there, and it's also nice that you have so many people from different places. So that's also is not so great, because people constantly change, in and out, people come and go in New York. So you meet a lot of people, and that's why everybody's so open. And I just love talking with people on the subway. Nobody finds that weird. Everybody's interested. It's so nice. It's also a different kind of respect. Often, you'll start to smile at people, and I just remember last year I went to a film festival with my film in New York, and just going to the airport here to get onto the plane to New York. In front of me was an American guy, and we were waiting to board, and he just turned around and started talking to me. An engineer, he was an engineer, And we just talked quite a long time about whatever, but it was just so nice, things like that. So it's a certain vitality that I really, really appreciate and really like, and you can feel everybody is really interested in art, and it's on the other hand, it's very competitive, because there are a lot of people doing.
It's interesting
doing
what you're talking about with New York, because when I was there, I had the pleasure, I think it's now almost 2 years ago, with my film. We're at a film festival, and
congratulations.
Thank you. And then I was there, and it felt like home. It felt like I'd been there before. Did you feel that when you originally landed in New York? I was there I don't know, one day, and I was running all over, and my friend, she was like, have you been here before? I was like, no. It just felt so familiar. What is that?
So I call it vitality, because my relative that I lived with, she passed away now. She was also such a great woman, that supported me. Also, she was one of the first journalists working for the New York Times. Really cool, crazy lady, so strong, amazing. She said isn't it great? New York has such a vitality. She was always I love that. And so there is something in the air that you can feel. Everything is moving. But that's the thing as well. That's the not so cool thing. It's constantly moving, and so it's really actually as well very exhausting. It's not so easy to calm down. So you can get burned up a lot. Especially as an artist now, I think I just heard a few stories. I just recently talked with an actor who also studied in New York and is still there, and he was at our show, and it's just really hard to survive, because before that it was already hard, and now it's even more because it's so corporate and everything, and you need to earn a lot of money in order to be able to have the option to calm down, but then actually you earn the money to just pay your bills in a way. So yeah. But I have to say, for me, like, for example, my band was formed there. I formed my band there, and things that happened within those 4 years, I mean, like, we were playing a lot all over the place. You had so many, the cool thing is, that's so nice about New York. It's like, if you have a niche idea, and I don't want to say my band was niche, not at all, because it was punk rock, lazy punk. So, but if you have a niche idea, you find immediately people who also like this idea, and all of a sudden you're a community. Like, when I was, I think 2 years ago, I visited my friend who's an actor there, and he's into clowning. And I mean, now clowning is getting bigger, I think. But like, so I wasn't that aware of it and stuff. I knew that he was doing that. And so he invited me to the clown gym in New York. And I expected a small pub where a few people come up and then try their clowning thing. It was crowded.
It was like packed. It was like, can I
yes!
come in? Can I
stadium?
Sorry.
Yeah, and that's why what I love about New York, meaning the so cool. Yeah, you find your people that also are totally into that, and you don't have that here. No. Yeah, you have certain communities, yes, but like, it's not like that. Not like that.
It's a hell yeah kind of vibe, right?
Yeah.
Like, hell yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Why not?
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Yeah, the way you describe it, feels very. It's really nice. I've recently started doing like movie nights, and I show people like movies that I do like and enjoy, and sometimes they're weird and they are not really easy to digest or to understand, and sometimes I get the reactions that it's like, what the fuck, we just
Like, which
why?
one?
Like, why
What's
did
your
we
favorite
watch?
one?
Oh, that was the one that I'm describing now. It's actually by like a Soviet Union Armenian director. His name is Sergei Parajanov, and it's, the movie is The Color of Pomegranates. It's very artistic. It's like paintings come into life. It's more like a myth than a movie, and I mean, I can recommend. You would love it. Like, but
you have to send me the name again. Please.
Yes, but the audience that I had, they
cool.
were like, why we watched it, and like what that was about. And it was, you kind of hit the wall with the explanation, and they're just not ready. They don't have that kind of sense of openness, and if you don't have that, then it's almost a little bit pointless, because you kind of run into the wall of like, you're trying with your mind so hard to understand that it blocks everything else within, because I think like movies you watch with your whole body, like you experience them, you become part of them, and it's like this constant dialogue for me with like what the director, especially if it's something worth attention, it's like the dialogue that you have with the director and with the movie and with the story, and and they just don't have that capacity. But I'm not giving up. I'm gonna.
But what do you think? Maybe it also has sometimes to do with that you're not watching in the cinema anymore so much. Because sometimes these experiences, I feel, are really for often like they give you the impact because you're sitting in a black box and are not somehow distracted by anything around you. I don't know. This is just.
I love watching things on big screen, and especially like me personally, I prefer to watch the first time just by myself, because I get distracted by all the commentary, like even people saying nice things or questions I can deal with. I just have to be me and the movie, and then the second time around I can watch with friends and everything. But I like to have my personal experience with the film.
I like that.
Yeah. Talking about movie making, let's go back to your experience with your short. And you wrote that it's Astronauts, right? You wrote it during the lockdown.
I am.
And
that brought me back.
Yeah, that is very interesting that, you've shared that you love experience working with other people and, being surrounded by that energy. But writing a movie during the lockdown, that must felt very, kind of isolating and maybe lonely. What was What was that
I have
about?
to confess something.
Okay.
I loved lockdown.
Okay.
But it's such a former privileged position, I have to say that, because so I told you before that I lived with my relative who was an elderly lady, and she had a house upstate New York as well, that she had bought like 50 years ago, renovated by herself with her husband and so on. So her husband was not alive anymore when I was living with her. And so we ended up, once the lockdown hit and everything, we ended up going there to her country house. And it was beautiful. It's in such a beautiful area. It was in the woods, nothing there. It was just nature and the house and a few neighbors. And also we had internet there and everything. So it was, for me, it was not, and then you hear on the radio what's happening in New York, and it was somehow weird as fuck to be like there and then at the same time having a great life like having had a good time in nature. But I ended up staying in touch with one of my one really good friend that I had met at the Susan Batson studio. It's an acting studio also in New York, where I did a few classes. I met this Argentinian director who had studied filmmaking in Prague. And we became really close friends, and we ended up staying in touch because when the lockdown hit, he was in Barcelona, I think, yeah. And we said, okay, let's not drink all the time, like everybody did in lockdown. Let's try to do something productive. And so we ended up actually watching a lot of, he taught me quite a few things about screenwriting, but also we ended up watching, the master classes, where we ended up watching David Lynch and a few other filmmakers.
Me too.
and watched it together, like on Skype, and then talked about it. It was really nice, for the whole morning, early afternoon. And then said, okay, let's write now a script together for a short. And so we did that, and we both, each of us said, what are we interested in? What's his theme? What's my theme? How can we merge it? And so on. And then we had a short film script, and I said, okay, I'm gonna apply for funding in Austria. Let's see, if we get it, we meet in Austria and we film it. And we got it. And so after 4 months in lockdown in nature, I ended up coming to Europe, but I just wanted to come for 3 months to film this thing and then go back. I was actually already applying for a green card or starting the process. And and so we ended up shooting astronauts, and astronauts is about, so my topic was so for me, my thing is I'm always into narrating stories about women that are somehow not that much narrated, and also, but have women that are very powerful and at the same time very fragile. I mean, power lies in the fragility, in general, right? So, so I had, because of what my mom was a single mom, I always had the feeling I wanted to do something related to a person who is a single mom, a woman who is a single mom. And then we ended up having these two characters. He did in the 90s in Vienna, meeting in a karaoke bar. He's a non-binary person, dressed as an astronaut, and they help each other. So this weird encounter where two strangers meet. This we were so fascinated by also when two strangers meet, and this connection you have, maybe also just for a few minutes, changes not maybe your entire life, but changes right now the course of your life, the path. So that was interesting. And so the spoiler is that I have a small child, and I end up giving it to the Babyklappe. a baby nest, I think it's called in English. So basically, it's a thing where where you can put your baby if you cannot keep your baby, and you can put it there anonymously. It's usually part of a hospital, so the baby gets immediately some treatment if they needed it, and then they will be released for adoption. And I had always a fascination about that. It's so weird, certain things you have. Since I was a child, when my mom once showed me that, because we often passed by there with the car, and she was like, this is the Babyklappe, this is doing this and this, yeah. So just like, and it's such an important thing for women, yeah, to have, even though, thank God it's not used that much, but it's really important to have, because otherwise,
it is.
Yeah, if you don't have the possibilities, there are women think they have to throw their baby into the garbage bin, yeah, like when you don't have any means, yeah.
And we're talking about, obviously, I just want to say something here. We're obviously talking about your film, and in the film you had a baby that you... Yes, just to clarify. Not that there's anything wrong with it, and we don't want to say that, please, it's something beautiful, and there's even a possibility, if you do not see the possibility at all to take care of your baby and you do this, you can come again even after a week or longer and say, hey, I'm okay, I can do it, and they will. Yes, that's important.
I think until 6 weeks or something, or 2 months. Yeah, it's really cool when it's just important to have these things, like the same thing that we have the option to have abortion. I don't want to say to that. I don't want to put an opinion on it, but I think it's really important to have all these possibilities.
Yes, it is, and I fully agree with that. And I have 2 children, and I fully agree with it. It is very important. So yes,
so that's the film, and then I ended up coming here to Austria to film it, and it was 6. It ended up taking longer because of another lockdown. We ended up filming this in 6 months. And during those 6 months, I realized, okay, New York is a lot. I think I might just stay here again. Yeah. Because I think you only realize how much New York is, how much you're constantly on 200% in New York when you're outside of it. Because everybody there is like that. So you're just like everybody else. Yeah, like constantly. And then when I was here, I realized, no, actually, you can be an artist, have maybe 1 or 2 side hustles, and create, and get also funding from the government, which is great. You have Social Security, which is really important, because I was constantly afraid that I have like toothache or something in New York, yeah. And I wouldn't be able to afford it. And I realized one big thing is that I can take the bike here and I'm in half an hour everywhere. In New York, I took the subway, and usually I was 1.5 hours on the subway a day, or even more. Yeah, and it's actually a lot of time that you're wasting on the subway. Things like this, and then also that I have my friends that I have for 25 years or something. I have them from school still, and they have them here, and it's really nice. So yeah, so I actually ended up saying, okay, I think I'm gonna stay in Vienna again.
And are happy with that. It sounds like it's something that you found. And you're very active, obviously. I mean, you've done a short, then you did another short, Noemi, with her. And also you're a part of Regisseur innen. Can you tell us more about that? Because I think that is fascinating. And now you have to obviously tell us what that is.
I'm part of the Regisseurinnen, which is an association of directresses and directors. It's with a star, die Regisseurinnen, so everyone is included. And basically we are, it's been formed, it was formed in 4 years ago. I joined like 3.5 years ago. And we are basically fighting for equality in the film industry. So that's the main thing. It's intersectional, feminist, and there is a lot of things that we still have to, make aware of. A lot of things, not still, because there is like, it actually has to be done for the first time as well. Like just the fact that like in film there's so much class in it. Yeah, if you're not come from somehow a more privileged family, it's really, or privileged background, it's really hard for you to make films. Yeah, you can see that in Austria. Like it was really funny. 3 years ago at the Diagonale at the Austrian Film Festival, there was this gender report, and this guy said. So funny. He was like, Austria has a tendency for class. No, did he? For noblesse. Austrian films have a tendency for noblesse. So basically, then he started to explain there are a lot of films about people who have money, but you never explain why they do have the money, why they have those kind of jobs, why they live in this thing. And then I started seeing this way more in films, and that comes because of who is making the film. You have to, also. Yeah, that's the same with women not being represented a lot, not that much in films, like, or Flinte people in general, Why? Because who is making the films, or who is getting more funding, and so on. It's a structural problem, and that's what we and what the cool thing about our association is also that we are not just for filmmakers who do narrative films or documentaries that are shown in the cinema, but also we have also the artists who are doing art experimental films. They are also in our association. So you have a great bandwidth of different kind of filmmaking, so now we are 120 members.
Congratulations.
And we have this next in 2 weeks on the 6th and 7th of December. We have every year we have a small festival, we call it, but it's not really a festival, where basically for 2 days it's called Feminist Perspectives, where we are creating always a group from our members. For 6 months, they think of what would be interesting for us, what would we like to see, what we don't see usually in cinema. And so first year was Celine Sciamma was here, we invited her, and then the year after we had it was where a lot of political films, because it had to do also with our elections and so on. This year it's called Feminist Perspectives of Disability. So it's about films from people with disabilities behind the camera, but also with people in front of the camera. And it's really interesting how much blind spots we have, when you're it's great, and how much is not included. So that's in our mainstream viewing, and so when you don't see, I always loved this phrase, and the Drehbuchforum uses it: if she can see it, she can be it. And they use that for their screenwriting competition. But I love it because if you can see something, you can be something, but also you understand something. Like, I wanted to be actually also a ski jumper when I was a kid.
Of course.
Because I loved watching that on television. It was always on television, the male ski jumpers. It was so cool. I wanted to learn to fly as well. But I thought, I cannot do that as a woman. So I was at some point, I cannot do that. And I think for me, that's such a good example for it, because otherwise maybe I would have been a ski jumper.
Fantastic.
I think that representation matters. They are not empty words. They're not at all, because this is how we perceive life. And anyhow, we have all those external pressures that shape our understanding and our capabilities and what we think we can do. It's not even about, the reality of the situation. Sure, you can be a ski jumper as a woman, but you don't see it, or you didn't see it. And that's why that idea didn't even, You didn't allow it to grow inside you.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's really important what you're doing.
Yeah, so...
And you have had a win. I mean, I just want to emphasize that. I know that you, Regisseur, and you had a win at least because we could feel it in with funding.
Yeah, so basically that was actually also why it was formed. There were really a lot of women that directresses that were fighting for the quota, so that the female directors get as much as funding as male directors. Of course, a lot of male directors argued that, well, there are more male directors, you know. But why?
Why is that?
Well, because they didn't have that much money.
I'm just saying, why is that? That is exactly like you were talking about the ski jumping. That is one of the reasons.
Yeah, exactly.
And it has been taking women a lot of time. There are a lot of talented women out there telling stories and have these beautiful visions. And it's exactly what you're saying. It's just slowly now starting that they're really coming forward and just going.
Yeah, but the thing is, also we have to continue fighting all the time. It's not unfortunate. So we got it through 4 years ago. And you could see at some point it was really almost 50-50, or it was even 50-50 really. It was really working. But now the numbers go back. And so you have to be alert. We cannot just, unfortunately, we cannot just lean back. And that's a systematic problem. You know, the system, the capitalism, patriarchy it's just, you know, prevalent. We cannot just lean back and think now we have done our part and it's now working. But we know that from history, don't we? So I'm not saying something new at all. Yeah.
Well, thank you for that at least. Thank you at least, not just at least. Thank you for that work that you guys are doing. As I'm an actor based here in Austria, it is really important. It's also important for us actors, and I have been producing and, you know, directed also a little bit. So it is important. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and we're working on something similar for actors in Austria because that's important too. And because in Austria we don't have anything like a union or something at all, and we as actresses are actually, actors and actresses are the weakest in a way, even though we are representing the films and everything. But it really, really there has to be done something here. So, yeah.
What's the hope for the future then? You know, with the group and with your projects, maybe there is already something brewing in your head.
You mean what my hope is for the future?
Yeah, filmmaking wise, what the projects that you wanna lay your hands on, maybe topics, maybe you already have something in the works. What can you share with us?
I'm working actually. So last year I was part of Diverse Geschichten, and I developed a series concept. I wrote a series, which I also pitched in Cologne, and it's now going into the next steps, and I hope to realize that. My dream would be that I also act in it, because I know that, like, for directing, I'm still not experienced enough. I need more time. I wouldn't feel comfortable of directing a series yet, but I would really like to act in it. So writing and directing, like Phoebe Waller-Bridges, writing and acting.
Love her too.
She's love her. So I would. This is one of my goals, and then another one is I'm starting now with a friend from New York who is also an actress and a screenwriter on a project which is a story between Austria and Brazil. Yeah, because a lot of in the Hungarian Revolution in 1857, around that time or a bit earlier.
We're just gonna believe you. We don't know.
Sorry, with numbers I'm like something.
Sounds good.
You know, we had a lot of people who were the revolutionaries and people who were fighting against the emperor and so on, the regime. They had to flee later, and they fled to South America. And there is a very interesting story and connection between Austria and Brazil. And we are right now starting to work on that. So I hope this is going to grow. And apart from that, I want to do more. I want to perform more now, because last year I just wrote a lot and directed also another short film that I'm now finishing, where I just directed it. And so this year the future, I would love to perform also more again, because I just love it so much to be just with the body and working with your body, being away from the computer. It's really nice.
So true.
Well, it was noticeable yesterday seeing you on stage.
Yes, right. It was so much fun.
With your hairdo thing that you.
I wanted to keep the hair. I had hair like this.
It was like this.
And but I wanted to keep it. But I had to wash it today because I have an audition that I have to record later. So I thought I need my normal hair.
Yeah, that would have been interesting. Self-tape. They would have been like, did she read the description? Does she know what we're after? What?
And it's a commercial audition, so it would be like, why is she going goth here for this for our product?
I think it would be really good for your product. And the problem is I can't wash my hair anymore, so it's stuck like this. So this is how we're staying. Suzie, this has been amazing. Thank you so, so much. It's really been a pleasure having you here. And
thank you.
You are so active, and hearing you say that you're like, oh, I don't think I could direct it because, I'm just in the beginning phase and stuff. And I've seen your stuff and I'm like, what is she talking about? I don't know what you're saying there. Because I'm like, you do it all. You're a fantastic director, writer, and actor. Actress.
Thank you.
Seeing you on stage now, lucky me. So
I'm also a big what's called the word Verfechter. I also do believe that's why I say it. I love to learn constantly.
Me too.
So
yeah.
I am, and I'm always aware of what I can learn even more. And so that's why I want to keep a certain humility about that, because I just find to expand your skills constantly is just crucial. And that's why I'm saying that. I think, of course, maybe I probably could, but I also, there's maybe perfectionism. I want to do it then really wow, or something, or where I feel certain skills, they can be honed more so.
And that is the truth, right? And that's ambitiously intelligent. It's exactly what our podcast is about, is this continually and constantly learning and having this open beginner's mind. Even if you've done it 1,000 times, still okay, let's explore. Let's see what can I learn? How can I, or a new perspective even. It's so healthy and good. So, thank you. This has been amazing.
Thank you so much. This is so much fun.
Well, there was one
really
thing we didn't do. I'm sorry, I'm just going to say it. Do you have your ukulele around?
Yeah. Oh, I totally forgot. Okay, give me a second.
Oh, we will give you 3. Well, there I am. I'm horrendous. I always do this to our guests. I'm like, can we please? But they're all so talented. They're just so talented, all of them.
It's also a piano, I think.
Oh, it's even tuned. That's great. I think it's tuned, so I don't need to.
So this is going to be this is going to be the end song. And Susie's going to sing for us something nice. Or
but okay, at some point I'm going to stop because I'm probably going to forget which was the next chord. I'll try.
Oh, we just a short thing for us to end this interview in a beautiful way. Thank you.
Do you want me to tell you which song it is?
Just surprise us.
Okay.
Your cruel device, your blood like ice. One look could kill I forgot already. My pain, your thrill. Ooh, thrill. I wanna love you, but I I wanna love you, but I better not touch. I wanna hold you, but my senses tell me to stop. Sorry, I always forget the chords. Okay, I'm gonna go into the chorus.
Yes.
But your lips are venomous poison. Your poison